What's going on, everyone? American and Leeds, the American and Leeds YouTube and Spotify channel. Please do smash the like the smash. You control your algorithm. Don't let your algorithm control you. My name is Alex. So good to be with you today. Hope that you have a lovely cup of coffee or tea. It's the best. It's the best stuff in the world. Caffeine, mild or medium. I'm a big fan of it. This is the Monday morning update podcast that I do. I promised that myself and I promised you that I would do updates basically every or do a podcast of some sort, do content every Monday and Wednesday. This coming Wednesday will be the American show. I don't know how that'll go, especially now with the 49ers really, quite honestly, disappointing me as somebody that has defended them. And apologies for the mic. My son knocked over my kind of more professional mic, so I'm just going with the earbuds right now. So the All-American show, Gabe the American, as well as Chris Fox the American, and myself, we will be taking pelters from you, as I hope we at least have a couple in the door at that time, but we'll see. Look, let's get straight into the update. Last time I left you, we did a great tactical podcast with, Lockie and Max from Leeds Lately. And in this span of 12 hours, we had Jorginho Ruter being sold in a 3-0 loss of the cup. So Leeds United performance in the championship has seen 2 consecutive draws. After a thrilling 3-3 opener against Portsmouth at Elland Road, Leeds United managed a goalless draw against West Brom at the Hawthorns, a fully packed out Hawthorns, to see Leeds United come and play in a fabulous away in performance by our fans as well. The team is looking for their first win of the season as they prepare to face Sheffield Wednesday on August 23rd. Obviously, Leeds United faced disappointment in the EFL Cup, exiting in the first round after a 3-0 defeat against Middlesbrough. Here is Daniel Farke's comments. What do you say after this performance, Daniel? This audio courtesy of LUTV.
First away point of the season, first clean sheet of the season. Reasons to be positive?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just happy when we win and we also deliver offensive firework, but I would say I'm pretty pleased with the valuable points today in a tough place. So I've won the league several times, but not really often here. It's one of the toughest places to go. Also one of the favorites for promotion. Remember last season when we earned 90 points, we've lost here. And I know how tough it is against always a well-structured side, pretty compact side, probably the most physical side in this league, and especially in a difficult week for us. Yeah, third game was in 7 days. Obviously, we were flying after preseason, 5 great preseason friendlies on the win. Then it's more like just a draw in the home game, and out of nothing we have conceded 3 goals. Yeah, then the bad news also with some outgoings, and also, yeah, then also because of this is also a difficult cup game, and we've conceded 6 goals in the last 2 games. And in football, it's always the same. You can be there with full confidence, but if there happens something, within 4 days, everything can change, and you have to win the confidence and the rhythm back step by step. And it's then not to say, come on, next opponent, we overrun them and we put more creativity on. You have to be rock solid, well structured, make sure that you defend your own goal. And out of the game, they had nothing today. They're still dangerous with all their top players and top.
So I agree with Daniel Farke here. We did need to shore up shop, as they say. And so I am okay with the result. I imagine that the practices and preparation for the game was focused on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how much attacking install. He did, or offensive install, if you want to say it like that. So I'm with him. I'm actually with him here. And we'll go over a little bit of the match stats afterwards if everything maps out to what he's saying.
In terms of set pieces, but to come away here with a valuable point, good point, and especially also with a clean sheet, I'm pretty pleased today. And yes, well done to the lads after a tough week. Yes.
I think certainly you limited them to very few chances, which was really pleasing. That clean sheet is pleasing, but I'm sure you'd like to just improve the attacking element as well.
Yes, of course. What was missing today was a bit like the creativity in the area behind our striker to make things happen, to be fluent, to.
He identifies the area behind the striker. This is my first time listening to this all the way through, so that is very important because everyone and their mother were complaining about Joel Piroe after this match.
To be flexible in our change of the position, to drive the ball, to do sometimes unexpected, to play magic pass. To be honest, till 1 week ago, or more or less 1 week ago, was still thinking, okay, we're playing in this area with Jorginho Rutte and Chris Somerville, probably and arguably the two best players in this position. Right now, we have to replace them, and I don't expect the players who came in right now to cut straight away the league into pieces. They have to adapt a little bit. They have also to get used to it, and it's not like they can replace Georgie or Cree one-on-one out of a sudden. Today, it was also important that they worked solid against the ball and sacrifice also perhaps even a bit their offensive strengths in order to give solidity and also safeness in our defense. And of course we need the next step then also to add a bit more creativity behind the striker position.
And he says we need to have a little bit more creativity behind the striker. Georgie's missing, and I think that he finally senses this. I'm going to reflect a little bit on last year as well. And then we will talk about the window, the 49ers, who I'm disappointed in, but I want to add more context that all the other channels aren't adding to this. Every single channel is not going to talk about the 49ers the way I'm about to talk about them. I'm not going to apologize for them. I'm just going to tell you some facts.
But to be honest, in the last home game, there was lots of creativity, and we have created more chances, at least in terms of expected goals, like in all the 50 games before. Today not, but this was also not the main focus here today against the always difficult side. So to go away here with a clean sheet, I would predict that not 5 teams will be capable to do this during the season. We are definitely one of them. Pretty happy with this outcome.
At this stage last season, Leeds had a point. This season, 2 points. So the build-up was not dissimilar in terms of the two situations either. So you have visited this area before. You've worked through it before as well.
Yes, we've lost here, although we were more or less in the middle, and especially afterwards on a brilliant run. So I know how tough this place is. It's always difficult to create chance against Carlos' side. They're always well structured and perhaps not always wonderful, beautiful on the eye, but always all that physicality and the top players. You have to be switched on to not allow many set pieces. If there is one, you have to defend everything. Yes, I don't want to compare it, so it's too much with last season. Yeah, what we are a bit missing are 2 more points out of the last home game. No, again, was more or less a joke that we didn't win this game after creating so much and actually giving just away so little. But anyhow, we conceded 3 goals and just scored 3 goals. With this 2 points more, we would be in the they are really not nearly with a perfect start. Yeah, these 2 points are a bit missing, but for today it was nearly a perfect outcome, I would say.
Daniel, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the point.
Cheers. Thanks, Daniel. Cheers.
Yeah, fair play to Daniel Farke. I think his strategy was to go there and not lose. I think he was focused on defensive structure. When I look at the transfer window, the 3 big losses, we could say Kamara as well. The 3 big losses, Archie, Cree, and Georgie, were not the 49ers being active in player sales. Those were not, that was not happening. what's been happening, as I've said, really when it's the position that we are in the championship, that other agents and other teams will find their agents and teams will find the clauses in the players' contracts, and we will be up Schitt's Creek. That's the best way to describe it, without a paddle, in the negotiation. But all of Archie, it was a clause that was met. Cree, clause that was met. And Jorginho Ruter, clause that was met. We didn't have a leg to stand on. It's us with a hat in a hand begging them to stay. In a lesser league, those three are the consequences of not beating Southampton 3 times. That's what that is, and it hurts. This year hurts more than last year. This year has hurt more than last year. Last year, really, everyone that was left, you were kind of telling them to go pound salt. Don't let the door hit you on the way back, on the way out. This year, we're seeing some players that we like leave. I don't want to say this next sentence, but it's true. There might be another outgoing before the window has got 11 days left. However, with that all being said, that the 49ers have been, in my estimation, doing the best they can to keep the players that they have. I am disappointed that there has not been more incomings at this stage. Last year, I said many others, not many, but some. I'll say many others, but there was a handful. Judge the window when it's pencils down. It's like taking a test. Just grade them when the test is over with. Don't look over the shoulder and say they've got 30 questions to answer in 15 minutes. And that's 30 seconds a question. You know what I mean? When it's pencils down, when you had that, if you've ever had a multiple choice test in college or wherever, and it was timed for 15 minutes and they said pencils down, that's when you can put it in the Scantron or whatever and grade the test. So I will grade the window August 31st. Here's my concern. We should have more in. Last year at this time, I wasn't really thinking that because it was so chaotic. This window is less chaotic, but the players that are leaving are bigger of an impact, almost bigger of an impact than last year. You can sense that. So I'm guessing there will be two permanent signings, and 2 transfers for a total of 2 loans for a total of 4 incomings for the season. I expect the 49ers to evaluate and do good scouting. I trust the brain. I trust the brain trust there. And I do expect Parag. I'm expecting, as a Leeds United fan, Parag or someone from the front office to make a statement after the window's closed. The other side of this is the Premier League has just started. Those teams are evaluating where they're at. And obviously they'll want incomings, but they'll also want, which is kind of nerve-wracking, but they'll also understand the players that they don't want to necessarily be working with, that might be able to loan out. Depth is key in the Premier League and in the EFL. So there might be some loanies that will be very difficult to pry out of the hands of these top 10, top 20 English sides in the Premier League. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Let's talk about Joel Piroe. Joel Piroe is not a number 10. He shouldn't have. I almost say he shouldn't have the shirt to even make us think that he's a number 10. He is a shadow striker. Probably would play well in a front two. He's not a striker. He's not a number 10. He's Farke last year, when we would all see, because Farke, let's remember this, started Ruter Georgie in the 9 last year. Okay, Georgie was starting up top, where it was a big press. There was a press conference last year, first month of the season, when things weren't really clicking up top. Somebody raised their hand and said, with Jorginho's creative output, why wouldn't you put Piroe at 9? Because you bought him at 9, and Piroe at 9 and Jorginho at 10. And he gave a big, long explanation and said, if I tell you my thinking, you promise not to ask this question again. And everybody agreed. But this was last year, written by Phil Hay, this article via the Athletic, but also, which is now a New York Times entity. But we talked about Joe Piroe, the 10.5 million pound striker from Swansea City, who had a 20 goal a season man. Why is he reluctant to start him up front? And then he goes, let's make a deal, Farke says. I'll give you right now, a bit lengthy, my whole thoughts on the topic, and then please don't ask me this again. Everyone who's interested, try not to fall asleep. And he went into a long explanation. And it's true. It's so funny. This context of this first paragraph, he basically says, if I ask these players what position they play, they will all tell you striker. And or they'll say 10. They'll say what they think in their head, and when Leeds did this intro video a few weeks back, they actually said they did the same thing. And I thought it was so funny because I thought Piroe, he said 10. He said, I'm a number 10 or a striker. I'm both. But that just goes to say that they all want to play this different kind of position. They all have this image of them in their head. But guess what? The reality is that he has to put out a team. And the main thing he mentioned that I really believe is Piroe's not a good pressing. He's not good at pressing. And in Farke's system, at times, because we do want to turn the ball, get possession high up the pitch, you do have to have a number 9 that likes to run around, like this, press. And Piroe does not do that. Now, if you recall, Piroe lost his spot to Bamford after Christmas, really. And Ruter was in the 10, and Bamford was in the 9. And Piroe would come off the bench, and he would score, and he was pretty solid for us, I guess most of the season. But he was mainly a bench option. Bamford gets injured towards the end of last season. We are currently 11-3. Bamford has not started since he lost his position. And he's been in and out of the preseason friendlies, and now I guess he's healthy, but he's coming off the bench. Obviously, Bamford, a true out-and-out number 9 player, right? Always has been. We have a number 10 problem, and we've had it for a long time. Georgie really wasn't a number 10. He was more of a number 10 than Joel Piroe, but I always thought Georgie could push off to one of the wings ever since Cree left, and we could get a 10, and that was for 3 days because then Georgie popped off. We need a 10. They don't grow on trees. I don't know how they're going to get a 10, but I would guarantee, beg, borrow, and steal a number 10 somewhere in the freaking continent of Europe that has talent and wants to play for a big club. Come to Leeds United. Move Piroe in off the bench. Have Piroe, Bamford, and Joseph fight for the strike, a number 10. I wouldn't even put Aronson at the 10. I would put Joffe at the 10 as the backup, as the bench player, maybe. And I don't know what you're going to do with Joffe. I mean, he's still playing. He's still obviously on the bench. Maybe you do give him a go at the 10 at some point. I don't know. I'm just saying Piroe is not a 10. It's not quick. He's not quick with the ball. He can't dribble around people. At least Joffe can, he's got that close control, especially in the box. It's very difficult to get the ball off of him in the box. So that's my thoughts. We have a number 10 problem. We have a Joel Piroe problem. We're not obviously playing to his strength. A lot of people are saying, at least to me, the gaffer has said there's something going on behind the striker. So I'm happy with the result. The 49ers need to do more, and we have a Joel Piroe problem. Those are my main things for today. Let's get to your comments. And we have to play the bump music. Let's play the bump music. Oh, real quick, let's share the stats from the game, just to reiterate the what Farke was saying. Look, pretty even there. 8 shots, 1 on target apiece. The one that we had on target was the one that ours came from, obviously, a set piece from Pascal. Theirs came from a concerning, where it was a couple of times high up the pitch in the midfield, we turned the ball over. One was off of a bad pass to Rothwell. The other time, I can't remember what, maybe Ampadu turned it over, but it was basically a similar setup, but it played out left. There was 2 really good centering passes, and Bellier caught it right at his chest. So there does seem to be once or twice a game where the back line will fall asleep for me. We can get away with it in the championship. Those times will be much more punished if we ever do get promoted. This is a big week. I'm not going to lie. This is a big week for the 49ers. This will tell me everything, whether we will push for promotion or we will basically be a championship side for this season and fight for the playoffs, or we're going to actually give a promotion push. This is a massive, massive week. I can't understate that. So let's go to your comments from the last video. Play the bump music. YouTube comments from the best fans in the world to my channel. All right. Let's see. Philip Anderson from the last podcast with the Tactic Boys says, really, really good show. boys agreed with everything. Let's hope they can get the problem sorted. Absolutely. Philip Anderson, 4680. God bless you, sir. Greetings from the west of Ireland, says Jer McDermott. That's a great name, Jer. Greetings from you. Greetings to you, and greetings from me to you. A lot of my family I'm 76% Irish. I did the DNA test. I have to say it was a brilliant podcast, so educational listening to the two lads. Yeah, they're incredible. I'm hopefully going to get Max and Lockie in together. Again, Max has been killing it. Lockie's been killing it. So do check them out. Listening from Australia, says Leeds United 19. Boy, how'd you get that username? Andy Wrong says, as Mike Tyson says, everyone has tactics until you get hit in the face, essentially, is what you're saying. All bets are off. We can sit back and enjoy the ride. Laughing my ass off. Read into what you like. Andy, I agree with you, but you do have to have a plan. It's the whole, like, do you have a plan or do you not have a plan? You have to have a little bit of a plan there. You have to have some tactical nous. Otherwise you get battered. And he says, like most all sports goals come down to moments of brilliance or mistakes, like golf. Cut the mistakes down and you should improve. I have egg on my face from Saturday. It's down to the eye test and subjectivity. I watched all these TV. Shout out to them. Basically saying that that team is basically saying similar things to what I'm saying. In fact, 3 out of 4 aerial challenges with Jaden Bogle. Yeah. So believe who you want to believe. Maybe Bogle might not be that bad in another person's eyes. Yeah, I think he's okay. He's got some defensive work. He did switch. He switched off, I think, last against West Brom and obviously against Portsmouth. Pontus, always good to see you. Will be a top game tonight. I still call it against Borough. He's called it a Yorkshire derby. Interesting, Pontus. Interesting. They are northern clubs, I guess, to me. Is it technically a Yorkshire derby? Please let me know, people in the comments. A little bit of coffee with Kentucky whiskey. Cheers, Slim Hood. 61 years old today. God damn, brother. Cheers to you. 60 to 70% of my audience is Brits over 60 men. So God bless you. If you are a British man over 60, you're still kicking it. You're still killing it, my friend. And God bless this club. I'd love to have one of you guys on my channel. I reached out to a couple folks, but if you're interested in coming to my channel, maybe we can have a little conversation. I want to learn more about this club. Let's see here. Lockie did a vid on Aronson that convinced me, says Slim. Yeah, I think Aronson's got potential. I just don't think he's the finish item. I still don't think he should start. I think he needs to come off the bench still around that 60th minute for me. And I'd like to see him and Dan James on the pitch just because they're both, well, Dan's much quicker than Aronson, but Aronson's got that third lung like Dan, and they can both press the hell out of the front line and just be, super annoying when a team's down defensively or without the ball. Let's see here. Great couple of points. Woodwork was their 12th man. Yeah, absolutely. Even though Meslier is young, he still played in so many games. I just don't think you can say Farke out, 49ers out, Meslier out. If you're saying these things, who you got? Farke, who else knows the league besides Farke? I mean, we're all rooting for him, right? I mean, Is there better coaches? Yes, I get, sure. There's always better coaches, but can we get them? Can we recruit them? And will they win here? It's, who else you got? Let's dance with Farke for a little bit. Let's not push him out. I think he's got at least until Christmas and maybe the entire season to prove it. The only way he gets completely canned is if he's not even in the playoffs. That's the only way I think he gets canned this season. 49ers, I'm sorry, I still believe that they're a good ownership, but they will. Everything hinges on this week and this final 11 days. I actually am scared for maybe the first time. Chris Fox says, a good pod, Alex. And Chris and Gabe the American will be on this podcast next week. Thanks so much for listening. Marching on together, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. My name is Alex. Hope that you subscribe.